Okay, so I thought I would make a tier list. This is a bit different than my normal videos, but well, I think I should address at least some of the stuff. So this is my first attempt. I'm only going to include like the characters I'm super familiar with, so some I might just skip and not put on if I'm not too entirely confident in where they should be. Notice I included supports here because I think that's an important differentiation. Okay, so I'll just go in alphabet order. Traveler, I'm just going to put him at C. Albedo, I would say he's a pretty solid support. Fairly easy to build because it does good damage. Amber, I mean, not much about her. Ayaka is like S plus probably. Her burst does insane damage. Barbara, I mean, she would be like an S healer, but she applies hydro to herself, so can't really put her that much higher. Beto, I honestly think, I know a lot of people put Beto like S plus, like she's like the greatest character in the game, but I would honestly say she's only like an A support. I guess higher than Barbara. Yeah, I feel like she's not as amazing as people make her out to be. Bennett, support S, not DPS. Nobody should build him DPS. It's a waste of resources. I don't care what anyone says. He's better as a support, much cheaper to make. Chongyun, I mean, hard to say. You could play him as support, but yeah, I don't know. I would say like somewhere between B and C. I'll just leave him at B for now. D-Luke, S. People are saying he's power scaled and he's weak now, but he was never weak. Like other characters are stronger now, but like that doesn't change that D-Luke is still strong. He's just always going to be strong. Diona, support, right? Her DPS is like literally non-existent, but as a support she's good. She applies a lot of cryo. If you have the sacrificial bow, very nice. You can spam her shield and gives a lot of energy. Fischl, I mean, if you build her DPS, I would say like A plus S minus. If you use her as support, I would say A plus S minus, or yeah, A plus S minus, something like that. So depends on which way you build her. My DPS Fischl is insane. I'll just leave her at support because that's what most people use her as. Ganyu, easily S plus. Hu Tao, S plus. I don't think I have to say anything about these two. I would put Ganyu higher just because she's more consistent, whereas Hu Tao has like cooldowns and whatnot, but I guess it's more like preference, like which one you prefer to play. Jean, she heals. You can build her DPS. She's a little bit tricky to build. Depends on what you want to use her as. I would say like you can run her. Most people probably use her for heals and a bit of damage, so that's kind of like support. Probably somewhere around here. Kaya, I literally don't use this guy. I know he can be decently strong, but I think he's like why would anyone build him? I'll leave him out just because I don't use him at all. Kaching, DPS, like A plus S minus. Similar situation with D-Luke, I would say, where people trash on her, but that's just because they don't build her and they don't know how to use her. She's actually pretty strong, but she does take a lot of resources, just like D-Luke. Klee, I'm going to move Kaya so he's not in the way. Klee, Um, Probably about here. S, right? Stronger than Diluc by a bit, but kind of hard to use. This is just Traveler again. I don't know why. Oh, okay. Mona. Support. I would say probably like S. Not like high S, but pretty in the middle. Ningguang, again, I don't use, but I mean, I'm familiar with her build and everything. She's decently strong DPS. I would place her at like A. I wouldn't say she's on the same tier as like these guys up here. Noelle, A plus, S minus, something like that as DPS. As support, I would I would easily place her as S because she's just so easy to build. Her shield is decently strong. I have her DPS, and mine would probably be about here, but most people use her support. Chi-Chi, oh, not higher than Bennett. Great healer, great healer. People trash on her because she doesn't do damage. She's not supposed to do damage. Razor, probably higher than Ningguang. People don't like Razor because he's so boring, similar to Diluc, right? But I mean, that's the charm about them. They're so simple and they do good damage. Sucrose, probably here. S support, buffs your team quite good. Very simple to build, right? That's always a plus. Child, I mean, people use him as support technically, and that's like the national team or whatever. People talk about like how he's such a great support, but I mean, he's strong. Like at the end of the day, he's strong. Venti, this one's a bit controversial. Like early in the game, everyone was raving about how amazing he is, like best character in the game. They were like S, 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 triple S, quadruple S. He's good. He's a good support. Higher than Sucrose. I think he's better than Sucrose for the same role. But he's not like double S support or anything like that. Okay, Xiangling, again, good damage, not S. Like I don't care. Like people use her in the national team and they're like she's amazing. She's not because she needs like so much support to get her to do that kind of damage. I think like by herself she's quite lacking. Like she has a lot of energy problems. Takes a lot of resources, similar, resources like this, but the difference that I find with Diluc and Xiangling is Diluc can wipe out anything by himself without a team. So that's the main difference. Xiao, definitely S, like high S, but I don't know, probably higher than Ayaka, but I wouldn't place him here. Just because he has his own problems too, so I would place him a bit lower. This is another controversial one. This dude is not SS. Even for support, I wouldn't say he's SS. I would probably place him higher than Sucrose, but just regular S support. And that's, I don't think he's as strong as people make him out to be. His role, the reason why people use him is because he applies Hydro off field. So he makes your Pyro character strong, like your Diluc, or like a Freeze comp, really strong, right? Like for Ayaka. And sure, you can build him damage, but you shouldn't. That's just a waste of resources. He does decent damage if you build him like crazy, but if you put all of that resin into Diluc instead, or Klee, or Ayaka, or any other Pyro character, Hu Tao, it's just going to be better, right? This character will get insanely strong. He will still buff them no matter what. He could literally do 1 damage and it's fine. Like, there's no reason to build him as damage. This is a waste of resources. Xinyan, this is the one that's been like popping off my video. And she's decent, especially this Constellation 2 build that I have on her, but you know, I can't place her at S. There's no way I could do that. She would be like pretty solid A, just because she's so simple to build, and for that low cost of resin, she does good damage. But she doesn't do insane damage. With the 4-piece emblem, her energy problems are like non-existent, right? So I would place her like pretty solid mid to low A. Okay, I need to make a new row above, and this. So here would be SS. Why is it writing backwards? I don't know why this is writing backwards. How do I fix this? I forget. Control right shift. There we go. Yeah, Zhongli, SS support. Like, not much to say about that. You know, better than Bennett for sure. Bennett is great, but I would still place Zhongli higher. Rosaria, probably a support. Let's see. About there, I would say. Yeah, poor Barbara. But I mean, you know, I would still class these guys as A. I wouldn't say like B support. Eula, probably here. Just because her ult is just insane. You could literally use a level 1 weapon, a well, there's no dual blade claymore, literally level 1 weapon, and she'll still do like 100,000 damage. Yanfei, maybe about here. Maybe a bit higher than Xinyan, but probably not better than Ningguang. Can't really say she's insanely powerful, but she's decent. Okay. Here, so I actually place Kazuha a bit lower than Venti, even though he buffs your team better. I would say just the CC you get from Venti is just better. And just, yeah, Venti's pretty nuts, but I know a lot of people would do that these days. They would place Kazuha higher, but I don't agree. I think they're close, but Venti's just slightly better. Noemiya, where's A? Yeah, like A plus. They were trashing on her when she came out, but she does good damage. Not quite S, I don't think. Mostly because she's ranged auto, which is a little bit tricky to use. And her build, the Shiminawa set is a little bit wonky. But I mean, she's pretty strong. Sayu, I have to place her for world exploration. She has to be, right? Just really great for exploration. She also, you know, she's Animo, so she can buff your team with the Viridescent, etc. Why is there 2 Kazuhas? I don't know. Okay. Okay. The Raiden. She's pretty strong S. I would say probably a little above Child in terms of damage. But I think Ayaka's ult is just better. Sarah, I don't use her, so I can't say. Oh, I skipped on Lisa. I don't use her either. For Lisa and Kaya, I would probably place them, you know, like C tier or something. But I don't use them, so I'll just leave them out. Sarah, I don't use either, so I'll leave her out. She would probably be like A support, like pretty high A, probably higher than Fischl. Kokumi I don't use, but I mean she heals, so she's probably better than Barbara, but not super high in terms of like support capability. She's an insane healer. I know she does decent damage, and she's easy to build, but heals are always very nice. Okay. Haven't built Aloy, but I would say she's probably about C plus B minus. Chongyun's better, right? I feel like Chongyun just does the same thing but better. So probably a bit below Chongyun. Okay, haven't built him either. In fact, I don't even have him on my account. The Tomo is probably like support. I mean, he shields, he's pyro, he applies pyro and stuff. I can't place him at S. You would have to be probably higher than official. So like an A, like a pretty high A support, A plus. These characters aren't out yet, so I can't say much. Yeah, that's about it. That's my tier list with the reasonings. I feel like a lot of things needed to be clarified. I think it was good to add support tiers rather than DPS because everyone just cares about DPS, but a lot of these characters in here, it's not about their DPS, it's about how they support. And yeah, I think there's a very important differentiation between DPS and support.